Picture this. It's the last week of the month. You've already checked your bank account 3 times today. Not because anything changed, just because you're hoping it did. Your rent is due in 4 days. You've got maybe $60 left after groceries. And you just picked up an extra shift this week because you had to. You're not blowing money on vacations. You're not buying things you don't need. You're doing everything you were told to do. Work hard, show up, be responsible. And somehow, the harder you work, the further behind you feel. That feeling, that quiet, exhausting confusion, there's a reason for it. And it has nothing to do with how hard you're trying. We all grew up hearing the same thing. Work hard and you'll get ahead. That's the deal, right? You put in the hours, you earn the money, and eventually things get better. And for a while, it kind of makes sense. You get a job, you get paid. Life moves forward. But then, rent goes up. The car needs new brakes. The credit card bill is higher than you expected. And your paycheck, the same paycheck you worked 40 hours for, just barely covers it all. Sometimes it doesn't even do that. Here's the thing though. There are people out there working just as hard as you, maybe even less hard, and they seem to be doing fine. Better than fine. They're not stressing about the last week of the month. They're building something. So you start to wonder, what are they doing that I'm not? This is where things start to break. Because the answer isn't that they work harder. It's not that they're smarter or luckier or just happen to be born into the right situation. Although, yeah, sometimes that's part of it. But the real difference is something most people never think about. It's not how much money you earn. It's what happens to that money after it hits your account. Most of us earn money and then spend it. Every month, the paycheck comes in, the bills go out, and you're basically back to where you started. The cycle resets. And unless something interrupts that cycle, it just keeps going, month after month, year after year. Wealthy people aren't working 10 times harder than you. They've figured out how to break the cycle. How to make money do something useful while they're not even looking at it. Imagine you're walking a tightrope, except the tightrope is your budget. And every single month you have to make it across without falling. No net, no margin, just you and the wire. That's what living paycheck to paycheck actually feels like. And when you're in that mode, survival takes over everything. You're not thinking about next year, you're thinking about next Tuesday. Any extra money that comes in, a tax refund, a small bonus, help from family, doesn't build anything. It just plugs a hole. A bill you pushed off, a car repair you couldn't plan for. This isn't laziness. It's not bad character. It's what happens when there's no breathing room. And when there's no breathing room, there's no space to grow. And here's the part nobody talks about. You spent 12 years in school. You learned about photosynthesis. You memorized dates from history. But did anyone ever sit you down and explain how compound interest works? Did anyone explain the difference between an asset and a liability? Did anyone say, hey, here's how to actually build wealth over time. Here's why starting young matters so much. Here's the stuff that will actually affect your life. So we make decisions based on what we watched growing up. For a lot of people was just, spend what you have, hope next month is better. And don't talk about money because it's stressful. It's not your fault you didn't know, but now you do. Now this one is sneaky because it feels like progress while it's happening. You get a raise. You've been waiting for this. So you upgrade a few things. Maybe a nicer apartment, a newer car. You eat out a little more. You deserve it. You worked for it. But 6 months later, you check your savings, and somehow you're still saving the same amount as before the raise, sometimes less. That's lifestyle inflation. Your income went up, but your spending followed right behind it. The gap, the actual space where wealth gets built. The fix isn't to live like you have nothing. It's just to let your spending grow slower than your income, even a little slower. That gap is where everything changes. Here's something worth sitting with. Every single one of us has the same 24 hours. And if the only way you make money is by trading those hours for it, then your income has a ceiling, a hard one. There's only so much time you can sell. Rich people didn't just earn more, they built things that earn without them. An investment account that grows overnight. A business that runs without them clocking in. You don't have to start a company to think this way, but the shift from how many hours can I work to how can I build something that works for me, that's the mindset that changes everything. Start asking, what can I build, even small, that keeps working after I stop? A lot of people who grew up without much money are scared of losing what little they have, and that makes complete sense. You've seen what happens when things go wrong. You've lived it. So you play it safe. You keep your money where you can see it. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Keeping all your money in a savings account that earns almost nothing, while everything around you gets more expensive every year, that's also losing, just slower. Playing it completely safe isn't actually safe. It just feels that way. Fear is understandable, but it has to be questioned, because sometimes the riskiest thing you can do is never take any risk at all. The real shift starts when you stop thinking about money as something you earn and spend, and start thinking about it as something you collect and build with. The technical word for this is assets. Things that either grow in value or generate income over time. A stock index fund, a piece of real estate, a small business, even a skill that makes you more valuable. Liabilities are the opposite. Things you pay for that don't give anything back. A car you can barely afford. A subscription you forgot you had. Debt that just sits there growing. Wealthy people collect assets. They minimize liabilities. It's really that simple, even if it takes time. And the other thing? Long-term thinking. Not just what feels right this week, but what does this decision look like in 10 years? That one question, asked honestly and consistently, starts to reshape everything. So what do you actually do with all of this? Start by tracking your spending for 1 month. Not to punish yourself, just to see the truth. Most people have no idea where their money actually goes until they look. And looking is the first step. If your job offers a 401k match, use it, even a small percentage. That's free money your employer adds on top of what you put in. Don't leave it on the table. Open a brokerage account, Fidelity, Vanguard, Charles Schwab, and put in $20. Not because $20 is going to change your life, but because doing it makes it real. It makes you someone who invests. That identity shift matters more than the amount. Spend 30 minutes a month learning something about money. A book, a video, a podcast. The knowledge compounds just like the money does. Slowly, then faster than you expect. And stop waiting until you have more to start. That day might not come. The best time was 10 years ago. The second best time is right now. Here's what I want you to carry with you after this. You didn't fall behind because you were lazy. You fell behind because nobody handed you the map. The system was never really designed to help you build wealth. It was designed to keep you spending, keep you working, keep the cycle going. But once you see the system, you can stop being trapped by it. You don't need a huge income to start. You don't need to be a finance expert. You just need to start making slightly different decisions in the same direction over a long enough time. The people who end up ahead aren't the ones who worked the hardest. They're the ones who learned how the game actually works and then refused to keep playing by the old rules. Now you know the rules. What you do next is up to you.